So the next thing is, how do you actually place the IP address in a given location? There's really two main differences in how an IP address can be placed in a given location. One is actual placement. Actual location placement is the IP address putting it on a map exactly where we know the IP address is coming from. That's actual placement. Centroid mapping is basically when you're saying that these IP addresses all belong to a particular city or a zip code or a region, and finding the center point of that city or zip code or region and putting it over there. So they're two very different ways of doing it. One is a lot more accurate and has an impact on lots of those use cases that I mentioned earlier. And the other one is more general area, and not everybody needs to be accurate all the time. However, when you put it in a general area, in a centroid area, what ends up happening is a lot of times the audiences between neighborhoods, the differentiation between audiences between neighborhoods is lost. So imagine there's a natural barrier, like a river or a railroad track or certain types of buildings. All those types of barriers can create different types of audiences on either side. So when you use a centroid mapping and you put all the IP addresses of both sides right in the center of one location, you're actually saying that everybody's exactly the same. And this is the reason why when we put in our Pulse Plus product that you see on the left side here, when we put the IP address on a map, it's actually in the location where it is. So how does Digital Element do this? Well, first of all, we have over 15 different sources of data that are coming in, and we have 50 different patents to enable these sources on collecting the data from various ways. And one of those sources is actually mobile devices that have consent and have a location permission. We collect data from there. We get the IP address and the geolocation from the data that it's collected. And we get about 1.5 billion devices on a monthly basis that are sharing over 950 billion observations. What that means is that every time an IP address comes in with a lat long, that is one observation, and we're triangulating that and aggregating that over time and placing that on a map. And this is why we do the actual placement. And then we also place these with a contextual awareness in a human readable way, which is the actual distinct locations and with their names. So we have over 4 million locations in 243 countries with these names.